You've seen my face many times, and many people, come and thank me for many things, and I appreciate it. You can do it more and more. No problem about it. But on the other hand, I know that without actually his contribution, as a person who wants to stay behind and make things work, including from the beginning planning of this conference, like at least 6 months ago, and most importantly the partnerships and finances and the volunteer base, which was very important for this program. We had many volunteers from primarily Turkish community, but also our interns and volunteers from our partner organizations, and of course the volunteer team that Morehouse team arranged as well. We had many volunteers affiliated with the Martin Luther King Chapel who made this program possible. So this was, I believe, a successful program, 3-day program with a lot of activities, right? So we are actually, with your applause, we are applauding all of our contribution, individual, all of you and organizers together. Since the beginning, before we started these things, of course, we had many conversations with Dean Carter, and I mentioned, of course, today, during the award ceremony also yesterday, and Terry Walker. I would like to definitely recognize Terry Walker. And can I have you, Terry, stand up, please? And whenever we had issues, Terry was the person to fix them, and I really appreciate everything that you did during this process. And I've been to many conferences and projects, and when you open up the booklets and you see some names, partners, and everything, but sometimes it's just the names there. In this conference, we really partnered with Martin Luther King Jr. International Chapel. It was every week, the other week, coming together, talking about an issue, at the weekends, calling each other. I remember whenever ISIS did something, Dean Carter made sure to call me and learn about them. And at times I was afraid that he was going to confuse us with those events and everything. He said, they are Sunni and you guys are Sunni too. And I was, oh my goodness, we're done. It's over. So we had, many great things, and we can, there's a Turkish saying, we can write a book out of this process. And I hope also Morehouse team benefited from our partnership too, because they really wanted, when they first, met with us, when we talked about a possibility of a Muslim scholar from Turkey receiving this award, of course we were surprised, because it was their idea to find a person who is active in non-violent peace-building activities. So with these things, we started also to learn more about Dr. King. It's not that we wanted just Mr. Gulen to be available to a wider audience for Atlanta community or community at large here, but also we considered this as an opportunity to learn more about King and his message. And during our conversations with Dean Carter, he always put parallels between differences and commonalities. And at one point, I remember he said that, if I may, I can quote him. He said that it really touched me. He said, you guys are doing things where King, left. You guys are going beyond after that point. And it was a very good, thing for us to hear, because this is something that we've been trying to do both in Turkey and elsewhere. And you've seen many people coming and showing us their also practices. So as you know, during the conference, it was not only about scholarly discussions, but also the real practice. And for example, Dr. Hashish, he brings it, for example, both the scholarly work and the practice that he's been doing for many years in 3 continents at least, right, if I may, and many others who brought this expertise and so experience. So we were glad to bring all these diverse ideas and differences together. And I believe that with these differences that we have among each other, this project became a much more successful than any other way we would achieve. Originally 4 years ago when we started this project, we had in mind to organize a conference on Turkey. We were willing to tell you guys that the best tea is in Turkey, the baklava is not Greek, right? Which are true, but we thought that you heard enough, at least in Turkish trips to Turkey. And we have a very supporting board, thanks to Bill Bowling of this organization, executive director, and many others who are from the Atlanta community. We are always in a conversation, and we believe that each and every one of us should continue these conversations. And in our community, I see, among many other things, one thing that in Turkish American community, maybe thanks to the American system itself, that there is a commitment to learning and making ourselves better. As an immigrant community, it's a difficult thing because I always give this example. In European example, Turkish community who went to Europe around 1950s and 60s, they took a very different path. They did not want to send their kids to schools. They did not want the kids to learn Germany or the local languages. Because of their educational backgrounds, they were always afraid of those other people without whatever name they give. But of course, kids going to school and they hear different stories at home and different things in the school, and they're lost in between. And when the time comes for the parents to return to Turkey, of course, for kids, Turkey is not the thing that their parents have in their minds. Their homes is Germany. That's the only country that they know is France, right? And that was a big problem. And also a problem within the countries, because now they're having questions about who they are and where they belong, whether they are part of the societies that they grew, or they were at odds with it, or they're against the societies, which ended up for many Turkish or even Muslim immigrants in many other countries we see, ending up drugs, gangs, and illiteracy and many other problems. And but in the American example, due to the opportunities available in this country, and also the way we look at reading the history of our, let's say, forefathers or examples before us, and take a good lesson out of it. That's why that's our goal, to learn and teach and make this opportunity available to everybody. And all of our programs, from the academic ones to the basic dinners and tea gatherings. And when I see tea, it's always hot tea, as you see here. Tea can't be iced tea, by the way. You gotta learn that, and it's chai. If you don't know. Yeah, I have to mention tea all the time. Yeah, yes. Of course, you're here to listen to many great people, starting with this organization. And we have Vice President Richard Lebert from Atlanta Community Food Bank to introduce this great organization, which is doing immense work for the Atlanta and Georgia community. And please give him a round of applause.